YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video, and in today's video, I'm coming on here with the video where we're going to be talking about the press conferences from today's OTAs practice, and we have some injury news on Antonio Gibson and Curtis Samuel. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure to go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We're now on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Let's get straight into today's video. So, let's get things started off with some news from the press conferences today. So, Jack Del Rio was at the podium today, and he said this about Chase Young. He wants Chase Young to keep working hard at his recovery and get healthy. Loves seeing him around the building during the voluntary portion of the offseason. So, that's Jack Del Rio talking a little bit about Chase Young, and again, He's saying everything that we're saying, that the realistic fans are saying, that the fans that understand are saying. We just want him to get 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, that's why I really didn't put too much pressure on him being there. Yes, you would like to see him be there. But again, him not being there, what is he? He can't practice. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like he's going to be practicing. I mean, yes, his presence make a huge difference, as you can see. But again, if he didn't show up, what difference was that going to make? It's not like he was going to practice. It's not like last year where he was healthy and he just wasn't showing up. He literally can't practice. He's still recovering from a torn ACL. So I love to hear that from Coach Del Rio. Then you move on. Jack Del Rio also said this about Benjamin St-Juste. He said Benjamin St-Juste is having a terrific offseason. Another thing I love to hear. You know, I've been on the Benjamin St-Juste bandwagon for a while now, and I said he could be our number 2 outside corner. He just got to stay healthy, man. He had about, what, 3 concussions in one season last year. He came onto the scene emerging. Same with Sam Cosmi on the offensive side of the ball last year. They were good, but they weren't available late in the season because they were hurt. You know, now I really want to see Benjamin St-Juste stay healthy, because if he can stay healthy, he could be really, really good for us, man. And you move on. They were asked about AGG, or they asked about AGG, or they asked AGG, Antonio Gibson, about his improvements over the last 2 weeks. He said he can see the strides and is willing to get better as a blocker. You know, so if you guys don't remember, they transitioned Antonio Gibson from receiver to tight end, and as we know, he's more of a receiver, so he's going to be a receiving target, and he's not going to be much of a blocker, and he just still has a small frame. He isn't huge. You know, they talked about him putting on weight. He still looks like a receiver. Okay, and he's willing to learn how to be a better blocker. That's great to hear, because he's going to need everything he can to possibly make this roster. I don't see him making it at this current juncture unless he just has a terrific training camp and preseason. That's the only way I see Antonio Gibson possibly making this roster. Maybe he makes the practice squad. But yeah, and then you move on to the big news today from Zach Salisbury per Twitter. You see that he said Curtis Samuel and Antonio Gibson were not on the field today. Samuel was a rest day, and Gibson had a slight twig in his hamstring. Commanders thought it was best to keep him off the field as precautionary measures. Now, I put this on my community tab earlier where I said, update, guys, you know, don't freak out, but this is something to keep an eye on. You know, we love Antonio Gibson. I love Antonio Gibson, man, but, you know, he always getting hurt. You know, and again, this is something to keep an eye on, because not to overthink and look too much into it, but around this time last year, this is when we found out Curtis Samuel had a hamstring/groin injury, right? And we thought it was just something that was going to be fixed in about a week or two, and then we figured out it lingered throughout the whole offseason into the season to where he couldn't perform, and he was out for pretty much the season. I'm not saying that's the same case, because it's a groin and hamstring, 2 different things. But I wouldn't overlook this. I wouldn't look too much into this, guys, but I wouldn't overlook this. You know? So that's something to keep an eye on. Curtis Samuel, not worried about him. They just said it's a rest day for him. Good. You know, I don't even want Curtis Samuel out there, man. Keep that boy on bubble wrap until the season starts, man. Now, all seriousness, though, Curtis is fine, but Antonio Gibson, that is something to keep an eye on. It's a good thing that we drafted Brian Robinson. You know, we still got J.D. McKissick and Jared Patterson. But that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Again, I'm not saying it's super serious or anything, but again, we didn't think Curtis Samuel's groin injury was super serious when we found out around this time last year that he tweaked it. So that's just something to keep an eye on, guys. Don't overlook it, but don't look too much into it, okay? Then Rivera's not at the podium. Rivera says he really likes the command of Washington's offense. It's a positive for us. He's said he and Wentz teammates can feel the confidence brewing. So I love to hear that from Ron Rivera, and I love to hear that the offense is looking good and is confident. Again, we're relying heavily on this offense to help us get to where we want to be this year, okay? Ron Rivera addressing the media. Rivera on the hit between Dayami and Reeves earlier today. He says stress is discipline and doing things the right way. We have to be smarter than that. So apparently, I didn't even know about this until now. Apparently, Dayami Brown got hit by Jeremy Reeves in practice earlier, like a tackle or something like that. And you guys know Ron Rivera doesn't play that. You know, he wants to keep these guys healthy. You're not supposed to be hitting in OTAs, right? It's just off-season team activities. You're not supposed to be doing any contact, but you know how these guys get. So I'm sure Dayami's fine. I didn't hear anything about him being hurt or nothing like this. I'm sure he's fine, but I'm pretty sure Ron Rivera got on their tail about that. Derek Forrest knocks away the pass from Wentz, and the ball falls into the arms of Cole Holcomb for a pick. Great to hear, great to see. Cole Holcomb making plays, Derek Forrest making plays. He's the guy that I thought was going to come in here and mainly make a mini impact last year, but it seemed like he found a role on special teams. But maybe this year he finds a way to get on the field at the safety position. Then Heineke just aired it out, 50-yard bomb to Markeen Michael, who had two defenders trailing him on the play. The play ended in a touchdown, and Michael let both defenders know about it. So shout out to Taylor Heineke delivering a great bomb. Man, did his arm get stronger this offseason? I don't know. Nah, all seriousness, shout out to both of these guys making good plays. Markeen Michael with the reception and let the defense know about it. First play of team drills, Dotson working against Kendall Fuller. Dotson ended up being open in the middle of the field. Hey, man, Jahan Dotson, bro. Like I said, I'm not surprised about him tearing up OTAs. He is a 4-year senior at Penn State. He is the most NFL-ready receiver coming out of this draft. So him doing this in practice, I am not surprised about it at all. You know, so shout out to Jahan Dotson tearing it up. Washington going through 2-minute drills now. Second pass play, Fuller picks off Wentz. So Kendall Fuller got an interception. Love to see it. You don't want to see Wentz throwing picks, but again, guys, don't look too much into it. It is OTAs. Love Kendall Fuller making plays, man, because last year, again, Fuller wasn't too terrible, but again, Fuller has definitely lost a step, and you can see that. Physically. Mentally, he's probably still one of the smartest players on this team, but physically, he can't keep up how he used to. Let's just say that, man. But it's great to see him making plays, and hopefully he can have a way better season this year. Then you move on to the next note from Zach Sells. He says the ground game has been the emphasis for the offense in the first team drill. He says, reminder that it's June with no pads. The blocking was very good, partially with the starting unit. So it's good to see that. And again, Zach Selsby is stressing everything that I'm stressing to you guys. It's June. It's OTAs. Let's not look too much into it. You don't want to underlook this stuff, but you don't want to look too much into it to the point where you're stressing out, okay? So now you're back to the notes. You're back to the press conference room, and Kendall Fuller is at the mic, and he says that the defense is focusing on building off their continuity and getting more in sync with each other. So there you have it. It's a little bit of a short video here. Some news about, you know, Jahan Dotson making plays, Jeremy Reeves, Dayami Brown getting into it, injury update on Antonio Gibson and Curtis Samuel, and we have some press conferences from the coaches and players. So let me know what you guys think about this video, action-packed short video. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Are you concerned about Antonio Gibson's injury? Are you happy about Jahan Dotson making plays? Are you pissed that Wentz is throwing picks? Let me know your thoughts about this whole video in the comment section down below. As always, it's been boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Want to roll to 5,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. I'm out. Peace.